kahit na may physical distancing, kahit na nagkikita na lang tayo madalas through webinars and teleconferencing, still, what is our ability and to what extent are we still able to interact with others? And at the same time as adults, kaya po ba natin i-regulate ang ating emotions and behavior? If we are not able to regulate our emotions and behavior, we will have difficulty solving even our own problems and our institutional concerns. Kaya kung ano yung mindset ng teacher, yun ang nadadala niya sa kanyang working institution. So take note, teachers, no matter how, and colleagues, of course, no matter how difficult our work is at present, a positive mindset would eventually lead us into our healthy and also stable self-esteem. Well, of course, minsan sasabihin natin, dali-daling sabihin yan. Pero paano ba natin masiset into a very, very positive. So there are just but 5 very, very important areas that we need to be very, very much capable of in terms of establishing. First is, of course, our own self-awareness. So are we aware of our own feelings? Alam ba natin kung nahihirapan na tayo o hindi? Are we honest to admit our own weaknesses? Kaya ba nating sabihin sa iba? Are we confident to tell them, uy, tulungan mo naman ako, hindi ko na to kaya, hindi ko na to kaya pang i-handle? So, are we aware on our own stand? Do we know where we are? Much is true, very important is from our awareness, are we able to manage our emotions? Nako, ito po yung pinakamahirap actually. Sometimes I have to be honest, mahirap mag-control ng emotions, lalo na kung galit ka na, stressed ka na, kaya minsan yung impulsive behavior natin lumalabas. But just take note, once words are said, it's very difficult to retract or to get them back. That's why self-management is important. What do we do when we're angry? How do we properly express ourselves more so that we are adults? Kaya pa ba nating bumilang ng 1 to 10 kung galit na galit na? So, easier said than done, pero pwede. Di po ba? Okay. Social awareness. Are we also aware of other people's feelings? Kaya ba nating maki-empathize? We have new teachers on board. Kung sila ang nagsabing nahihirapan na sila as adults, what do we do with them? Do we tell them, makamukamot, bahala ka, nung ako, kinakaya ko. Diba? So, how do we empathize with the others? At the same time, how do we also appreciate and recognize other people's effort? At present, ang ating pinaka-significant others ay ang ating pong mga pamilya. So we stay with them almost 24/7 at home because of the ECQ and even with the GCQ. So aware ba tayo sa mga feelings din nila? Okay? So our own awareness of ourselves would also lead us into being aware of the others. Relationship skills. Ito na. We are so much into a lot of challenges now. So are we able to cooperate? Are we able to manage inappropriate social pressure? Are we able to resolve conflicts between and among us? Minsan, ito po ang pinakamahirap sa isang school leader, to get people intact, to get people working together. And I experienced that myself kasi nga po, meron tayong individual differences. And finally, whenever we do something, it's very important that we should be responsible for our own decision. Ethical standards, is it good for everybody? Is it safe for everybody? Is it within our accepted norms? Ito ba ay nagpo-promote ng respect for the others and all others that we have to consider in our own institutions? So as colleagues, and even if you're not an administrator, what do we need to do? Skill development, meaning opportunities should be given for each one of us for reflection, for practice. And we can only do this when our own learning environment is supportive. And my last slide, of course, we need to have as an environment that is safe, respectful, caring, and well-managed. Magagawa lang po natin ito kapag ang bawat isa po sa atin would take the time to really understand what's going on, accept change. If we need to relearn, we relearn. If we need to retool, we have to retool. Wala po tayong magagawa kung hindi ang i-accept ang change and adapt to it as part of our social and emotional cultivation as individuals. Marami pong salamat.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Marilyn Balmeo, for that
Yes, ma'am.
very inspiring message for all of us po.
Yes,
I hope that our teachers will really be inspired and be motivated, especially in the opening of classes. Thank you very much,
yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Marami pong salamat po.
Okay, thank you very much po.
Yes po.
Okay, so moving on, we are blessed to have with us this afternoon, despite of the fear and uncertainty that we are facing right now. We have our city councilor, at the same time the chairperson on the Committee on Education, Culture, Creativity, and Historical Research, for his message. Sir Honorable Councilor Vladimir D. Cayabas.
Great afternoon to all of you, our empowered educators and resilient school leaders, especially here in the city of Baguio. Naibag nga malam karate amin. I know that even during the implementation of the ECQ, that you have been working so hard and serving so smart. And a special mention to those who have volunteered in their capacity in our fight against coronavirus disease, opted to get out and serve as volunteers so that others may live conveniently. So maraming salamat sa tulong nyo sa ating syudad ng Baguio. Unang-una is I'd like to congratulate the organizers for this teleconference. Indeed, this is part of the new normal. This is part of the so-called the leadership thing that was introduced way back, especially in preparation for the so-called fourth industrial revolution, or the so-called IR 4.0. So that when you speak about leadership thing, it is our ability to shift from the used leadership style to the new and conforming leadership qualities, especially that we have new challenges today. When we deal with new challenges, in a way that we need to also use new strategies, new techniques, or even approaches, our dear friends. The new normal requires the new knowledge, new approaches, responsive strategies, and innovative systems. And that is also what your city government is doing. As we support the programs of our city mayor, Benji Magalong, especially that all are not prepared for this particular kind of crisis. But I think that through the exercise of the so-called bayanihan, our culture of ubu, that we are advancing, especially for the sake of our young people, especially helping the needy populace of our community. Pinag-uusapan nga natin yung start ng klase. And alam po natin, ang Department of Education from National, nasabi na sa August 24, yung iba naman na nasa TechVoc o kaya nasa Commission on Higher Education, ginagawa nila kung ano yung dapat na mas convenient on the part of their students. First, for them to be able to complete kung ano yung man yung hindi natin natapos ngayon na school year. And secondly, in preparation for the next school year 2020, 2021. Pinapakinggan ko kanina yung sabi ng ating speaker and napakaganda. It's all about despite in spite of these challenges, let us not be acting like victims in a way that we still need to help each other, in a way that this crisis should bring the best from us, especially from the academe, supporting that title of the city of Baguio as center of education. Nasabi rin kanina, it's all about the importance of new mindset. Yes, even the mayor is always saying that. It's all about again, the new mindset, okay, in a way that we could be able to deal with these new normal, with these new challenges. Building a mindset of COVID, it's an acronym, our friends. C stands for courage to face the reality. We are now in this kind of reality. In a way that the question, are we prepared to face it? We need to prepare because we are the leaders and we are the empowerers of our students. Another one, it's all about, let us also be optimistic and yet realistic, especially on our programs, especially on the measures that we need to implement concerning our schools, concerning also the welfare of our students and also the parents of our students as our service partners. Also, it's good for us to develop victorious mindset, a winner's mindset, in spite and despite of all of these challenges as leaders, that we could be able to deal with this. The best way for us to uncover the quality of leaders is not during normal times, during these challenging times, as they say. Another one is we need also innovative in our approaches. When you speak about being innovative in our approaches, I know that it has been being adopted by the Department of Education, but this time we need to double that innovative quotient that we have, our friends. And to make it as an acronym for such COVID, we need also to be digital competent, mga kaibigan. Importante yan. What we are doing this time is an application of technology, application of the so-called digital empowerment, and it's part of the new normal. From the city government of Baguio and on behalf of the other officials, we are again expressing our pasasalamat to you, our dear members of the Academy, especially to our school leaders, the school administrators or school principals, our teachers, and even the non-teaching personnel. Let us work and serve as instrument to be able to advance is still the cause of education sector in the city of Baguio. Let us become service partners in thick and in thin. Your continuous support to the city government is much appreciated. So again, I'd like to say maraming salamat, mabuhay ang ating mga educators. Special mention to our SDS, Madam Marie Caroline Verano, sa inyong leadership, sa lahat na rin po ng mga school heads na kasama natin, even from the private sector, mabuhay ang ating syudad ng Baguio, angat ang ating rehiyon Cordillera.
Thank you very much, Honorable Councilor Vladimir Cayabas, for that very motivational talk to all our participants this afternoon. To continue with, in this educators' voices, we are going to capture and listen how this pandemic affected the lives of our teachers or of our participants, including your concerns for our students and your own families also. We can also include the strategies you are doing in preparation for the opening classes and advice for fellow teachers. Please help me welcome our two moderators with facilitating prowess from the Alternative Learning System, Ma'am April Lorraine Agustin Verdejo and Sir Dave Fiangaan. Ma'am and Sir.
Speaker is not working.
Hello. Mama Soon?
Yes,
Hello, Mama
ma'am.
Soon?
Yes, ma'am.
Mangagda?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Loud and clear. Welcome, welcome po.
Good afternoon, teachers from Baguio City. I will be I am one of the moderators for this afternoon session. I will be interviewing Ma'am Elma Takinan, the representative of the elementary or from the elementary teachers. I have 4 questions for you, ma'am. Ma'am Elma, are you around?
Yes, ma'am.
At nervous kayo ba, ma'am? Makaslaki niya?
Grabe nervous, ma'am.
Sige po. So, Ma'am Elma, I heard you had training on what's this? ADM, but that will be later. Kumusta kayo, ma'am?
Ay, mayat mo't, ma'am. Sa
How
awan
are
ng
you doing
Diyos.
today?
Fine, ma'am. Hello.
Yes po. Are you with your family, ma'am, today?
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
they are in the
Yes,
province?
ma'am. Full
Sa Baguio
family.
po kayo, ma'am, or
Baguio, ma'am.
sa Baguio po kayo ngayon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sige po. At least you are with your family in Baguio
Oo
at
naman.
this moment. So, second question po. What issues are bothering you that may limit your ability to engage in learning activities when classes open? So we know po, ma'am, that classes will open on August 24. Any issues po that are bothering you?
Actually, the delivery of learning, yung mode of teaching natin, ma'am.
Delivery of learning. Sige po, ma'am.
And also the internet connection for our pupils and also
Internet
Hello.
connection.
Oo.
Sige lang po, ma'am. Narinig po namin kayo.
Okay. Okay. And of course, yung safety, how safe it is kapag nagbukas na ang opening.
Sige po. So delivery of learning and then safety of learners. So next question po, ma'am. What is your level of awareness on the use of the following LFOs or the flexible learning options? So probably in a 4-point Likert scale, can you tell us the level of your awareness of the following FLOs? First would be the alternative delivery mode. Next would be distance learning or the homeschooling.
Again,
Another one is
ADM.
the online learning and alternative learning. And finally, the blended learning po. Sige po, ma'am. Isa-isahin po natin.
Yes, ma'am.
So we will start with alternative delivery mode. Ulitin ko po, ma'am, the level of your awareness. Yes po. Probably you can answer with extremely aware, moderately aware, somewhat aware, or slightly aware.
ADM, again. Ang choices, extremely aware.
Yes,
and then,
yes, ma'am. Moderately aware.
Moderately. And
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Yes, ma'am. And slightly aware.
Slightly aware. Ma'am, siguro
Yes po.
sa ADM, I can say that it is about moderately.
Sige lang po, ma'am. Tuloy po kayo.
Yes. Sa homeschooling, mostly pang high school po ito eh. Somewhat.
Somewhat. Sige po, ma'am.
Oo, sa homeschooling. And then, the other is, what, ADM, homeschooling. Ano yung isa, ma'am? Blended?
Online learning and
Online.
alternative learning.
Okay, dito sa online,
Yes,
as
ma'am.
for me, this is something slight. No training or online.
Sige po.
Kulang jay experience para online.
Yes, ma'am. How about for the blended learning?
Blended learning, ito yung combination.
Yes, ma'am.
Slight din.
Slight din po, okay? Having noted all your answers po in the following FLOs, ma'am, your fourth question, what is your level of confidence with the use of the following FLOs po? Same po yung Likert scale natin from extremely confident, moderately confident, somewhat confident, and slightly confident. Yes, ma'am. Ulitin ko po yung tanong.
Level of confidence.
Ma'am Elma.
Yes, ma'am.
Andyan pa po kayo?
Yes, ma'am.
So I repeat the fourth question. We have noted po your answers on your level of awareness in the following FLOs. So what is your level of confidence po with the use of the following FLOs? Same like Likert scale po tayo, from extremely to slightly confident. We start with
First ulit yung
alternative
ADM.
delivery mode.
Alternative delivery mode.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
How confident po kayo in the using of or with the use of the alternative delivery mode?
With this pandemic,
Yes
with the
po.
coming of alternate, somewhat moderate. And
Sige
there's
po,
a
how about,
yeah,
yes ma'am, how about distance learning, ma'am?
schooling,
Hello po.
homes,
Mama, you're still there? Or ako ang nawawala?
distance rate somewhat. Hello?
Yes
Nawawala.
ma'am, yes ma'am.
Hello?
Yes
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, so saan na tayo, ma'am? Sa homeschooling? Online.
Yes ma'am, homeschooling po.
Sa okay, sa homeschooling somewhat. And then online, somewhat
Yes, ma'am.
confident. And sa
Yes,
online, nako, slightly.
Sa blended learning po. Yes ma'am. Slightly confident. Nasagot po natin lahat, ma'am, yung FLOs. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am, Elmar. Sige
Yes,
po. So there you go. The answers are recorded. The answers of Ma'am Elma are recorded. May we continue to the next 4 questions? May I call Sir Dave?
Okay na po, ma'am. Sige, thank you.
To do the next interview or to conduct the next interview. Sir Dave? Sir Dave? Sir Dave Adaka? Hello, Sir Dave. Ada ba? Sir Dave? Sir Dave? Mama Soon?
Yes, Ma'am April, I think Sir Dave cannot enter
Okay.
the room. Kindly continue the interview with Ma'am Odessa Duping.
Sige po, ma'am. Thank you, Ma'am Odessa. Ma'am Odessa?
Yes, ma'am.
Busta po kayo?
Okay lang, ma'am. Mamagdak ba? Okay lang. Hello po.
Medyo choppy kayo, ma'am.
Hello po.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Okay na, ma'am.
Sige, ma'am. Can we continue? So we have also representative from the high school teachers in the person of Ma'am Odessa Duping. So here are your questions, ma'am. Unfortunately, Sir Dave cannot join us today. Tuloy na lang po natin, Ma'am Odessa, yung questions para sa inyo.
Sige po, ma'am. Pero parang
So
choppy
hopefully,
yata ako, ma'am. Hope okay na.
Hopefully you are okay,
Hello
ma'am.
po. Can you hear me po? Yeah, I'm good.
We heard
Hello.
that Dontogan is in lockdown situation.
Yes, ma'am. Our neighboring barangay.
Okay,
Another on
sana.
lockdown. Another neighboring barangay on lockdown.
Sige po.
Nakaka-increase
Sana
na
hindi
ang
kayo
fear.
apektado dyan.
Okay naman
Sige
po.
ma'am, tuloy po natin. This is your question, ma'am. What is the
Yes,
most
ma'am.
appropriate flexible learning option for your school? If you can recommend one, ma'am, what is the most appropriate FLO for your school?
Good afternoon po sa lahat. Okay, personally po, I go for face-to-face learning. But of course, it depends on the advisory of the IATF if they will be allowing us to conduct a face-to-face learning as our learning option. But if it is possible to suggest that our face-to-face learning be used in the classroom, it could be reduced to at least 1:25, or probably one, depending on the size of the classroom, so we can still maintain the physical distancing as advised by the Department of Health. And aside from the face-to-face learning option, is it also possible to have shifting? So we can have the AM, PM classes, and or probably some students could enter MWF if it is possible, or some students could also be reporting EHS or Tuesday or Thursday only. I think the Saturday is not possible. And of course, we have to consider the transportation of the students, the distance of home of the students, and in case of the case of the performance task, I think we have to limit or to have instead of having group performance tasks, we are supposed to have it individual. So I think we can give it as a modular basis, so they can finish the task and we can still have the face-to-face learning any time of the week if it is possible, if it would be given as an advice. Of course, I cannot speak for my colleagues because there are some teachers in our school who are good or good at the virtual classroom. But of course, we don't also know how many of our students can avail of a very strong connection of the net, so they can have the virtual classroom in other means of FLO, which would be appropriate to our school.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you po. Noted. Next question, ma'am Odes. How can you help address the challenges in the opening of classes? Again, how can you help
How can I
address the
help?
challenges in the opening of classes?
Okay, so first, being in the field and a member of the community where the school is, we might as well know better the situation. So if we have suggestions or positive feedback or good feedbacks on the best, or if not the best, the appropriate FNOs to be used, we can give our suggestions or our honest feedbacks. In the first place, we know our students better. But of course, if whatever will be opted by the school, we still have to support and respect whatever FNOs which will be undertaken by the school. I am in charge of the enrollment for incoming grade 7, specifically for those who cannot have a connection to cannot open the link for the enrollment. And most parents are texting or messaging me not only to enroll their kids, but also to ask questions, not only regarding the enrollment, but also regarding questions which is related to the previous school years with regards to the computation, how the grades were computed. And as a teacher, I have to answer. And I think I could also help in the information dissemination to our parents so that they will also be updated of what is happening in the department. We have to understand, ma'am, that not all parents or guardians are updated of what is happening in our department. And as a teacher, we should also keep ourselves updated of what is happening so that we will not be able to misinform, we will not misinform our parents. Especially so that they respect us to be knowledgeable of what is happening. So I believe that I can help by informing them, disseminating them correct information. So if I'm not able of the questions the parents are asking me, if I'm not able to answer actually, I solicit the opinion of my colleagues or if not our school head. And I think another is it is also important for us to say hi, hello to our colleagues. How are they feeling right now? How are they right now? And also not only our colleagues, also our parents, if we have the access, also our learners, if we have our group chat. Okay. And lastly, I think, ma'am, we have to prepare really ourselves physically and mentally. Okay, so the summer break is almost over. We have to accept
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
We have to go back to the reality, the new school year, and we are facing the new normal. And since we belong to the department, we have to support and implement rather than be an additional problem. I think that's all.
Sige, ma'am. Maraming salamat po. And finally, your final question. What support, probably financial support, what support do teachers need in your school?
I think I don't know.
What support do teachers need
Aha,
for your school?
parang dito tayo maraming mama. Okay,
Sige,
so
ma'am. Isulat po
what
natin.
support the teachers need from the school? Okay, number one, I think, is if it is possible for our school, the school head, and the other school authorities to listen, uh, to listen or to consider suggestions from the teachers, the learners, the parents, the community when making decisions on what is the appropriate FLO for the school. Another is it possible, ma'am, to conduct debriefing to all the teachers after the DCQ? If it is possible, ma'am. So before we start formally with our activities, if we could have first the debriefing of all the teachers. Anyway, we have 2 months to go before the start of the formal classes. Hello, ma'am. Narinig po ba ako?
Medyo choppy, ma'am. We are trying to...
Okay po, ma'am.
Sige po. Meron pa po kayong sagot, ma'am?
Okay, ma'am. Is it also possible to conduct training on urgent professional development needs, like the use of technology and teaching learning process, especially so that we have the new normal and we have the new learning, we have the new LFOs. So is it possible to conduct also briefing of teachers regarding this LFOs, especially so for those teachers who answered the level of awareness is slightly, somewhat moderately, or that one. I think we have slightly, somewhat, or moderately aware. Okay? So probably if we could conduct briefing to these teachers, because it might help them decide the most appropriate FLOs to be used. If it is also possible to release books to the learners individually. And of course, we know very well that there are some subject areas in some grade levels did not yet receive their modules. So it would be very helpful if we opt for the modular. Okay, so we can have something for our students. And if it's not too much to request also to our school head, ma'am, because you asked me the question, it is it also possible to request our teacher, our school head to provide printed materials for the teachers, or if not, the free of charge, the photocopying of our supplementary reading materials, especially so that our activities would be to avoid collaboration among the students. And if not too much, I'm afraid to give this. Is it also possible to provide load? Natatakot tuloy ako sa Ma'am Lorraine. Load for our for the teachers to contact their parents and the students. And we also like to request if it is possible the school to maintain the wings, the wash in school, so that we are assured of the students at least have the hand washing facility. Okay, so we have the water and all. Okay, and for us who don't have doctors and nurses in the school, or I mean, we have sharing, right? The doctors and the nurses. If it's possible for us to be visited most often, okay, by the doctors and nurses for probably instructions and for not only for the learners but also for the teachers. I think I have given a lot.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much po, Ma'am Odes and Ma'am Elma, for sharing what is inside you, what is inside the teachers in the public school. As mentioned by Ma'am Jovi, Dr. Balantin earlier, it would help us in the planning for 2020-2021 school opening. Thank you so much po. Ma'am Asun, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am April, Ma'am Elma, and Ma'am Odes for sharing with us your views in the opening of classes. This time, we are now going to have our open forum to be facilitated by Dr. Balantin. Ma'am?
Okay, good afternoon. Okay na ba? Stable, okay. Hello, good afternoon. Hello,
Hello po.
okay na?
Hello
Okay,
po.
sorry, unstable. Our internet is going intermittent. Basta umulan, medyo nagkakaproblema. Anyway, we are now witnessing the challenges that we will be facing if online classroom delivery will be used in the coming school year, just like what we are experiencing today. So there are a lot of modalities that we will be adapting, and we will proceed with the Q&A for us to further be informed of how to do about the opening of classes. So we have the panelists with us today. Our panel is our schools division superintendent, Ma'am Caroline Verano, together with the assistant division superintendent, Ma'am Sor. Are you there, Ma'am Sor? And our chief, if she's around, they will be answering your queries. I know that aside from what is posted in the chat box, you have question in mind or something that's bothering you. So let's be open. This is our chance for us to discuss together your queries, your concerns, and your questions. So may we hear from the participants? Sino po yung first na mag-raise ng question? Okay, while waiting for the question, I read a concern a while ago. Medyo ang haba-habang concern yun. It's about, wait ha, nawala ulit. Sorry, okay. It's about, hindi ko masyadong nabasa, but it's about the provision, the possible provision of a laptop or a smartphone if feasible, if we will be adapting the online classroom delivery. So I think this is already a concern that we need the opinion of the budget officer, but may we hear from our SDS po kung ano yung masasabi nila dito, or our ASDS. Go ahead, ma'am. We can't hear you, ma'am. Ma'am, something's wrong with your audio. Hindi po marinig.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Okay na po. Hello, ma'am. We will get back to you. We'll get back to you, ma'am. Okay na po yung audio. Medyo mahirap makakonect si ma'am. Okay, we will have Ma'am Sor then. We will get back to Ma'am Verano in a while. Ma'am Sor? Ma'am Soraya? Yes, ma'am. Hi, ma'am.
Hello, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay na?
Yes, ma'am. Sige, okay na po.
Okay. So the query is on the provision of cell phones,
Yes.
smartphones,
Phone or a laptop?
laptops or tablet.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We will note for that because of course there are guidelines also in the use of MOE
Yes,
and
po.
for the school MOE and the division MOE. So that is our prayer that
Yes, po.
teachers and students should be provided with such. And we will also hear that to the central office through the regional director.
Opo. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So noted po yung nag-question doon. Any other question po? Ito, may isang question, ma'am. How will DepEd Baguio address social distancing to student come August 24?
So, sinong sasagot dyan, Ms. Balantin?
Ma'am?
Who will answer?
Kayo po, ma'am.
Ay, ako pa rin. So,
Yes,
of course, we are still having with our plans, the learning continuity plan, and we also have the recovery plan. So we are still gathering from the school heads and from you teachers if you had some other suggestions on how to do it. And then, of course, there will soon be guidelines also from DepEd Central Office. Though there is a plan that if possible, we could have at most 20 students in a classroom with the desired measurement of the classroom.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Another question regarding the safety of our learners and so with the teachers, will there be face masks to be provided or safety gears for learners and teachers?
So far, no directions yet for the provision, but we will, because we have the school MOE, we look into the preparation of work and financial plans to be submitted to the division office from the school heads if they have enough funds for the face mask.
Okay, thank
But
you, ma'am.
probably it could be a part also of school uniform that they should be wearing face masks. But it's nice also if we have funds to be given to the students, parents, visitors who will be coming without face masks, and the teachers and all the school personnel, and even including the offices like here in the division office.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Another ma'am from Sir Alexander Dumagas. Just in case during the opening of classes is August and it happened that some learners are tested positive with COVID, what is the plan of the division office?
First and foremost, we really have to submit first to the health department of the city, and then we, of course, there are advices that they are going to give us, and as of now, if there are positive and then they enter the classrooms, there are guidelines wherein classes are to be suspended, and there is the tracing as usual, what we have been hearing that is happening when there are people who are positive or even suspect or probable or confirmed with the COVID case.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Another is a private message regarding the transportation, ma'am. If classes is to be opened on August 24, and we are still under GCQ where transportation is not yet all open, what will happen or how would we remedy the transportation of the teachers and learners? It will redound to having, of course, not all teachers will be reporting because of the transportation.
So yes, that's true. Transportation is also important. So if you are still in GCQ, first is we also look into the transportation. And of course, those aged 60 or above, and those with illnesses, which are also dangerous for the disease, they could not yet go and report, and also the children. So that's why there's a need for a survey also for the illnesses of the school personnel and the students. So first is we have to coordinate also with the city LGU with regards the transportation. And if it is not yet possible, there is a possibility for home-based schooling. So the possibility for parents who could go to school and get some modules, especially so if the children could not have online learning, and of course all other modalities that could be possible for every student. So there are still plans to be done when that would happen, when we are still at GCQ, especially so if there is no vaccine yet and there is no medicine for that disease.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Another concern, ma'am, is about the thermal scanner. Are we going to get the body temperature of the learners before they enter school or the classrooms, ma'am?
Of course, it is also important that we get also the temperature of the students.
So ang school daw ba, ma'am, may maipoprovide na thermal scanner?
We hope that they could also procure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it is placed in your plans.
Okay.
The school heads could place the scanners, the alcohol, the mask. They could place it in their plans the work and financial plans in their AIP, because we could also have supplemental AIP, and they could also revise their work and financial plans.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, how about the students with special needs? According to one participant here, who are prone to illness, are they exempted from going to school the just like the senior citizens?
Of course, if we are still in GCQ, and yeah, and then it is still dangerous to be having a face-to-face class, all the more that they could not yet go to school.
Mm-mm. Another ma'am, can we have disinfection tents in school though?
Disinfection tents. Well, it is an advantage, but we are still looking into the basic let's say the basic way of having the safety in the school. So if it is really a need, and it is also a, let's say, suggestion of our DOH, well, why not? We really have to comply with their suggestion.
Yes, another ma'am, this is a good question from Ma'am Linda Foyos. Lessening the population of the classroom, 20 or more students to abide with physical distancing, will there be shift schedule in classes since not all students are accommodated to and many can't avail of the e-learning, ma'am?
There is a possibility for that, because if we could not have a 100% face-to-face, and we should still lessen, it could still be, others could still be less than 20, depending on the size of the classroom. There is a possibility for, let's say, an MWF or TTH, or a morning or afternoon session, because we have also to consider the transportation. If the transportation is also a problem, maybe they could have a class of MWFs instead of every day with shift, morning and then afternoon. And then on the non-face-to-face days, they are to bring home some modules for those who could not have online, or could be both modules and online.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Another question from Sir Oscar Ayonan. In an online teaching, how do we group or do sectioning for teachers in a certain grade level where they belong? How do we group or do sectioning for the teachers in a certain grade level where they belong?
Beginning June 1, though we could still start this May if we look into with the plans also from our CID, our supervisors. I believe there are also plans on how to do online teaching, and we could also, maybe our ASDS could answer to that also on online teaching. I believe our ASDS also have some researches on online teaching. Ms. Soraya?
Ma'am, sir?
Thank you. Yes, that is a question that also even our teachers can reflect on. Dahil pag online teaching, ang assumption yan ay you as a teacher, you are also prepared to deliver the class online. And how do you group your students? That's the question. How are you going to group the students in your own class when you deliver the online class? Definitely the standards has to be set muna. Those who will undergo the online class will have to have prior to your class na orient na sila. And these are of course people. How do you group them? Isa lang naman ang parameter niyan kung ang mga estudyante mo ay meron silang gadget. At kung wala silang gadget, how are you going to deliver the online class in that case. Ang importante sa online class, maybe the question that you also would like to ask is, how will you assess them? So that's a different story when you're going to assess them. Dahil ang klase ng ganito, we have to be very careful because we are in a crisis, no? So in the area of if you want to assess the children in terms of online learning, it has to be very deliberate and very well planned of yung pag-assess ninyo dahil unang-una, you consider also your learner. Kung si learner ay wala siyang kasama sa bahay at hindi natin inorient ang parent, gaya ng sabi ni Ma'am kanina, yung na ating si Ma'am Odessa, then we don't expect really much from the learner in that case, kahit online learning yan at meron kayong pinahatid sa bahay or meron kayong pina-send na online activity sa kanila. So, in short, the answer to your question is how do you group them? Isang parameter dyan, group the students who have gadgets, who have technology, and who are willing to undergo online classes, but not push them to get into online classes. No? So, yung sinasabi, very careful tayo dyan dahil we are looking at the safety and security of learners. So, yung nasabi niya is the printed modules. No? Parang the printed modules will be our one of our ways. No? So, etong online learning na ito, maybe we are looking at it as something that is supplementary because not everyone has it. No? We can also look at it as a form of enhancement of the modules that we will be giving. So maybe my answer to you right now may not as clear, no, as how you will group them, but that is the only way that I see that how are you going to group your students, ganong klase, kung sino yung may gadget, sila yung pwede nating mabigyan ng online, whether ganitong klaseng synchronous or asynchronous na pag-aaral. So, ayun sir. Did I answer it? Or do you have follow-up questions?
Okay, ma'am. Who would like to raise their question, not in the chat box, who would like to, yung in verbal? Okay, another ma'am, while waiting for the other question is, what are teachers expected to do when they report in June 1? Ma'am, sorry. What are teachers expected to do daw when they report to school in June 1?
By June 1, teachers, no, from June 1 to and onwards, there are many activities that we can do. Unang-una, of course, basic of which is that month of June will be for training purposes. Training of how delivery of the curriculum will be conducted. How are you going to deliver the modules? How are you going to teach them? So, ito yung mga klase ng training. Debriefing, these are activities. Psychosocial training. No? That's why HRD in charge of here, HRD Ms. Jovi here, has a lot of things for you all because the month of June, you have to be trained in all the aspects of preparation, not only in the delivery of class. Yung ano din kasi isa dyan ay pagpasok ng mga bata, ang teachers, tayong mga guro, kailangan din nating alamin kung paano mag-respond to disaster, the pandemic. Who knows? Who knows? We don't know nga the behavior of this COVID-19 anya. We don't know. So with that, one of the training programs that the teachers will have to undergo na i-design ni Jovi na ganyan ay yung responding to disasters like this. Another one, the psychosocial training, itong mental health. So all of our learners and even us have undergone a crisis. So you expect trauma, you expect a lot of behaviors of children. So kailangan si teacher madagdagan din yung kaalaman kung paano din niya i-approach itong mga klaseng behaviors ng bata because we don't have a lot of nurses, we don't have a lot of psychologists, in our school. So yun yung ating mga training programs. Other than the training programs in the use of technology, of course, other than that, we also are looking at teachers to help out in the enrollment of our learners. Ano-anong klaseng mode yan, no? Whether this is online, yung mga modes that we have established, no, in our division, again, the teachers are expected to do that. And of course, no, do not forget your your well-being. Do not forget your well-being. You need to be healthy. So whether physically or mentally, sa ating mga kailangan na gawin sa ating mga sarili. No? And we will still be offering knowledge sharing series, no, apart from your formal training program. So that's all. Thank you.
Anybody who would like to share their questions on verbally?
Ma'am, pwede po
Sige,
magtanong.
Go ahead.
Ay,
Sino po siya? Pakilala ang...
Freudeline po, ma'am, from Bakaking National High School po.
Okay, go ahead, Ma'am Freudeline.
Ma'am, kasi po nakita ko po sa calendar of activities, June 1 onwards din po or pwede naman na ngayon na inuumpisahan ng mga teachers ang pag-prepare ng learning activities. Pero sa mga small schools to medium schools po wherein teachers handle more than one preparation, for example, I handle grade 8 and grade 10, medyo marami-rami pong learning activities po iyon na kailangan pong i-prepare sa mga bata. Or sa Happy Hallow and Lindawan, grade 7 to 10 po ang handle nila na learning areas. By what month po kaya namin mai-expect na darating po yung mga learning packets na from central office po ba or from our division po mismo ay may mga learning packets po na ipo-provide later on, considering po na marami din pong subject areas na wala pa pong learning materials po?
We have here Dr. Sangad.
Ma'am Chief,
Miss Balantin.
are you there? Wala yata, ma'am.
Sino yun? Si Freudeline ba yun? Freudeline? Okay.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay.
Good afternoon po, ma'am.
Good afternoon. So with the help of our CID, especially in the LRMDS, there are those advisors where we could also shop for the different modules. We also have the commons, and we also have from the regional office and even the central office. Prayerfully, by before August 24, we could have a complete modules for the different most essential competences given to us. But for the meantime, if you could, because of course this is voluntary because you still have your vacation up to May 31, but others may volunteer preparing already if they have time or if they like to do, they could also prepare. But for those who could not prepare, it's okay.
Okay po,
Maybe by June. So you could have also sharing within the division, of course, within the school, within the district, within the division, region, and central office. And then you could also download some resources from even outside the country, especially, let's say, the mathematics, sciences, where you could have, as long as it matches the most essential learning competencies for your students.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Maybe ASDS also could add. ASDS.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, we have with us the EPS of the LRMDS, Ma'am Loida, if she would like to say something about this. Ma'am Loida?
Yes, Loida, you are here.
Yes po, good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Regarding the question of Ma'am Freudeline, as Ma'am said, we'll just wait for the central office to provide yung sinasabi nga nila na prepared learning modules. Actually, these are the ADM modules prepared by selected specialists, APS before, and there is still on the process of collecting or completing all yung mga naka-assign sa different regions and different division. And according to ma'am, we hope na ma-provide na nila before the opening of classes. So aside from that, that's why if you remember, we have our regional memo 1991 encouraging teachers and school heads or encouraging us to prepare contextualized modules so that while waiting for that central those learning materials from the central office, at least meron tayong pwedeng gamitin. That's why if you remember, naka-specify kung bakit naka-specify doon na first and second quarter. Kasi nga, yun ang uunahin. Sana natin i-prepare na sana kung meron makukompleto natin yun, at least meron tayong gagamitin while waiting yung manggagaling sa central office. Ganun po. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for that question and for that answer, Ma'am Loida. Anybody who would like to raise their answers verbally? Kasi in the chat box natatakpan ang mga ibang ano, but I took one question from Sir Franklin Gabriel. What is DepEd take if parents opt to enroll their kids but arrange to homeschool? Would they be allowed to do such an arrangement? The homeschooling, ma'am.
Actually, okay, nice question. I raised that in the regional MANCOM, and according to our RD, and the answer also of the central office, we have to wait for the guidelines because it is not easy to be having homeschooling with the parents to be teachers. There are processes to be involved. There also be permit and other documents also to be submitted, and there are also series of seminars, orientations for the parents. So we will wait, but it's also nice if we also have the homeschooling here in the Philippines. I just don't know if there are private schools who applied for homeschooling in our country, and is it approved? So
yes, ma'am. There are.
Okay.
We have TMA, ma'am, sa Manila.
Sa Manila.
Homeschooling din, yes, ma'am. It's a private. And we have one in Baguio, but not within our, nag-ooperate siya, but not registered in us. But I heard na Baguio siya. Ang ano dito, ma'am, or even to our colleagues, depende how you define homeschooling. Is this the homeschooling na kailangan ng mag-register sa DepEd, or is it the informal na homeschooling na bigyan mo ng module at yun, depende yung anong definition natin ng homeschooling dyan. Whether it's schooling, syempre wala pa tayo sistema kung paano yan gawin dito sa atin, no? But there are private institutions who are doing that. But if our definition of yung homeschooling is yung informal na bigyan mo ng module at gawin niya sa bahay, pwede din yun na definition, yun. So, yan.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Any more would like to raise their questions verbally?
Hello po, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes po, ma'am, from Dominican National High School po.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes po, ma'am. Ma'am, kasi based on sa school calendar po natin, yung enrollment po na June 1 to 30. Okay. And then we gathered already 122, ma'am, na confirmed na nag-enroll, and 82 po yung hindi talaga maka-enroll, ma'am, because of non-access sa internet and cellphone, ma'am. So, ikikater po ba namin ang mga yun, ma'am, physically? Sa June 1 to 30 po, yung mga mag-enroll na parent.
Ms. Soraya, care of SGUD, please answer.
Question is, will you accept learners? Pakiulit yung kwan.
Ma'am, sa ano po, ma'am, sa enrollment sa school calendar, ma'am, na June 1 to 30. Kasi ma'am, may 82 po na hindi maka-enroll, ma'am, kasi walang access sa online enrollment po, ma'am, and then walang net po sa bahay nila.
Yes, sir. Thank you. There are other ways of enrollment, no? Una is yung sabi natin, we after na-validate yung forms already, after these were checked by our division office committee, and the SF forms have already been passed, no? Una dyan is the automatic enrollment of learners, which means that itong mga learners natin na pumasa na, walang problema, automatically they will be enrolled for the next ang tawag dito, school year. So, ang kailangan lang natin dyan will be validation or concurrence by the mag-validate itong parent, no? Whether on text to the school head. Yeah, importante ang school head ay masigasig, no? Hindi yung ano dyan. Kailangan masigasig sa school head dahil we have to connect with the parents via phone, via text, via call. If that's the way that we can connect with them para ma-validate na yung automatically natin ay doon sa school natin sila mag-enroll. Okay. On the circumstance that the GCQ is here and not everyone can go out, no? Not everyone could be able to go to the schools. So yan na yung mechanism that we are asking the school heads to coordinate with the barangays and see how we can do that. And actually there is already one school, Adiwang, who is doing that na in coordination with the barangay officials. So yun yung mga mekanismo natin na pwede natin gawin from June 1 onwards.
Okay po, ma'am. So yung ano po, ma'am, sa incoming grade 7 po, ma'am, kukunin na lang namin from the elementary na nearby, ma'am. Okay
exactly. We have talked this out with our elementary PESPA president. Siya mismo ang nagsabi dyan na ganun ang mekanismo with our elementary. Ulit-ulit nating sinasabi dahil medyo isang buwan na yan na na-discuss. So hopefully maalala din nila na ganun yung usapan natin. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you po, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, sir, thank you. And thank you, ma'am, for the answer. Another ma'am from Sir Whitney Dawayan, the principal of Pines National High School. Teachers will be on training starting June. Will there still be an inset before the opening of classes? And can it be reduced to 3 days instead of 5 days?
Oh, Miss Balantin, you answer that inset.
Usually kasi sir, we do the summer inset prior to the opening of classes. But with the adjustment of our schedule today, I think this will be one of activity that will be done June 1 onwards. So it will be up to the school head to schedule, but at least the inset should be done prior to the opening of classes. But for uniformity's sake, para uniform, or do we still follow, ma'am, the schedule where we do a uniform, a standard schedule? Or mas magandang hindi pare-pareho so that in the event that they will be inviting our supervisors as speakers, hindi nagko-conflict yung schedule?
By the way, if we have trainings and inset, there must be a training needs assessment first.
Yes, ma'am.
And we look into the IPDP of the teachers, what are their needs. And by the way, they had their IPDP maybe before this quarantine, so they might as well also inform their school heads what are still their needs, so that the school heads will give to their PSDSS, and the PSDSS will submit to our CID chief, and of course the CID chief will make plans with the Fs and PSDS and some school heads. So with regards the training, since we tried to minimize already the training, but you are encouraged to be joining our series of knowledge sharing and the different webinars. So you could always join webinars and knowledge sharing. So you look into our DepEd Pines, our official website, and look into the different schedules if you are interested, because in the schedules, in the memos, we have the titles of those trainings and the names of speakers. If you are interested also, you contact Miss Balantin so that they will also include you, or if there are more participants, we could have also part 2 of those webinars and knowledge sharing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Noted po. By the way, this year is the last year of the implementation of the HRMD plan. So if there's still needs not addressed from that plan, we can have that. We can call out from that. That can be also a basis instead of having their own TNA, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay po. Okay, another ma'am. From...
You ask the one who questioned if it's okay. Sino bang
Ay.
nag-question? Ay, wala pala, no? Through text pala. It's nice also if you will air it, your question, so that we will also ask you if you are contented with the answer. And the others could also, you answer also, because we do not say that we know all the answers. And by the way, your questions are very important. We are taking notes because that is one way also to open our minds on there are still other needs that we were not able to see during our planning.
Yes po, ma'am. Ma'am, we have with us our some supervisors. They could also butt
Yes.
in and give their answers. Or
Yes,
especially, yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
So
Especially on matters.
you try to direct the questions
Opo.
to the supervisors so that I will be jotting down notes also.
Yes po, ma'am. Okay, another ma'am is from Caitlin Fortes. Would it be possible that one teacher will be assigned to one teaching modality per grade level, or one is expected to do all the teaching modalities? May we have
The different apps.
Yes po. Ma'am Loida?
Hello, ma'am.
Or we have the school principals? Anybody who would like to answer?
Joby,
Yes,
may
ma'am.
I answer?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yung tanong nila about modalities, it is very possible na one teacher will hold expertise, for example, with complete accessibility on the internet, technologies and everything. Siguro may assign siya sa mga online teaching. At yung mga walang means or they have the difficulty of the technologies, sila naman yung mag-i-in charge sa different modalities. Hindi sa ngayon ng new normal, yung teacher ay hindi niya kailangan i-master lahat yung modalities. Kung meron siyang mga obstacles, kailangan tulungan ngayon. So, possible na hahawakan ng isang modality ang isang teacher, especially if there are 5 teachers in a grade, magtulungan sila. One is holding other modality, the other is holding. Depende kung ano yung sitwasyon na meron sila sa school.
Ay, okay po. Thank you, Ma'am Marina.
I hope I answered the question of that teacher. Sino po ba siya?
Sino na to? Si Caitlin Fortes.
Oo, kasi kung nahirapan siya, for example, wala siyang internet access, hindi niya masyadong kabesa yung online teaching, maybe some teachers in that school can help her. So yun yung kagandahan ng collaborative teaching ngayon.
Ito pa po. Okay. Okay na po. Here's another good question, ma'am. Okay na po yun, Ma'am Marina?
Oo, sige.
Okay. Here's another good question from Ma'am Yolanda Chan. Pag GCQ, 20 years old and below and 60 years old and above are not allowed to go out. So if this is the situation come August 24, then what would be the plan of the division? Oo nga naman, kasi below 20 years old will not be allowed and also 60 years old and above. And we have teachers who are 60 years old and above.
Of course, if that will still be under our DCQ, which is, say, it will not be modified, so students could not go out because they are below 20 years old. And for the teachers who are above 60, who are 60 or above, they could have work from home. Or maybe they could also attend some seminars.
Okay po. Another ma'am from Ma'am Mary Jane Malihod of Happy Hollow. Is there a possibility to program on radio school on air for both elementary and secondary, ma'am?
That could, of course, that could be possible. So maybe with that question, it is also a suggestion, and we will try. Maybe we could include in our plans, and we have how many radio stations. So from the CID, from the supervisors and the ALS supervisor, did you try also, or those ALS teachers, did you try radio lessons?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
I mentioned that to our chief when she's preparing the learning continuity plan, that it can be possible also by connecting to our SGOD kung kumusta po yung partnership natin sa radio broadcasting, at baka makagawa po tayo ng mga modules for those who are really cannot attend their classes in the school. Pwede po yan sa ma'am kung sakaling with the partners of our radio partners.
Siguro we will also add in that's a nice question, because we could also add that in our survey, who have radios, who are willing to buy radios, and who are willing to use the radio. So pwede siguro yan. So from our CID supervisors, please take note of that.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Anybody who would like to raise their questions? Kasi in the chat box po, natatakpan. Yes, sir. Ma'am. Ay. Here's another good question, ma'am. May I know the type of DepEd uniform to wear during COVID crisis? Is it like an astronaut overall uniform like the frontliners too? Uniform, daw.
We have Dr. Enya here. What are the suggestions for our attires?
When we are under the COVID-19, the suggestion given by, no, not a suggestion, but in the guidelines that Dr. Enya prepared, one of the things that she mentioned there when it comes to attire was the use of long sleeves, the use of long pants, and everything that's long enough to cover your body. In the case of the question about radio and such, we have talked about that, and it is in our recovery plan that all forms of modality, but it will now depend whether the material that is made in the curriculum is angkop doon, ay angkop sa radyo or angkop doon sa TV. Kaya importante yung learning material is really made for radio and really made for text or SMS. Yun klaseng ganun. So we have initial discussions on continuing our radio subscription with Z Radio, which was suspended because of the COVID-19. So that's one of the options that we are looking up into, na ituloy natin yung ating subscription with Z Radio. But it will all depend now on the learning material that is really meant for radio lessons.
Okay, thank you. That was from Ma'am, an ALS teacher from Ma'am Dorsky Nalbilka. That's interesting. Okay, any more po? before we sum up.
Ulan.
Yes,
Ulan.
Ma'am Marie Chris?
Ulan. Ulan. Diba? Ulan. Ulan.
Yes, Ma'am Lucia.
Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, based on the questions here, no, I'm just reminded po, may I just raise to our high officials, do we have any possibility or is there any possibility of additional items for teachers, especially with this situation we are facing by June or by August? Thank you po.
Orally, but there is no paper yet. We are given 28 items only.
Wow, thank you very much.
But we are waiting for the NOSCA and the guidelines.
Thank you po.
Okay, any more would like to raise a question? We still have 5 minutes. Then we will have the... Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead po.
I have a question regarding yung closing program sa graduation. Matutuloy po ba?
Ma'am Sor. Graduation.
Yung mga certificate sa mga bata, ganun. How do we...
Tanungin ko nga yung mga principal dito. Kailan dyan? Miss Malihod. Whitney.
Hello.
Yan,
Share with me daw. Share with me. Ma'am Heidi.
Hello.
Mga principals daw. Ma'am MJ. Sige, go ahead.
Gusto man natin na ituloy pero talagang hindi pa pwede eh. We are put on the GCQ, talagang hindi na pwede. So maybe we can still have other mechanisms. We're going to give the certificates soon when this GCQ is already lifted also. Because it's not allow also gathering. So definitely we do not have yet this kind of ceremonies.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Hello po.
Okay, yes, go ahead. Sino po siya? Sino po sila?
Sir Dawayen.
Ay, Sir Whitney, go ahead.
4 Pines, our plan is we are preparing a presentation which will be uploaded in our school account.
Okay.
We'll schedule a virtual graduation wherein we are going to invite all our graduates and competitors para manood na lang sila. But for the issuance of their documents, their certificates, diploma, recognitions, probably will just be giving this or awarding this when they will be back to school. But as of now, the plan is virtual graduation. Ipopost namin yung presentation na ginagawa namin probably by the first week of
June.
Month of June siguro. We'll be inviting all the graduates to watch this presentation, graduation presentation. Parang ano lang siya, parang yung normal din na graduation pero papanoorin lang nila. Since we have all the photos of the graduates, so may pa-flash lahat yan. Manonood lang po yung aming mga graduates at mga competitors. That is the plan for Pine City National High School.
Ay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Whitney, please prepare a proposal and submit through email.
Ano po? Yes,
Please
ma'am.
prepare a proposal for that and submit through email.
Okay, 6 po.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the question.
May question po
Pwede rin
dito
house to house.
from FB Live, ma'am.
FB Live. Okay, go ahead, sir. Please.
A question from FB Live from Ma'am Brenda Carino.
Okay, go.
Regarding daw po sa card giving.
Anong tanong dyan, Haris? What's the question?
Actually, ma'am, tinatanong niya if na-discuss na yung card giving po.
Kung paano. Si Ma'am Carol?
My question is, are grades finished already and forms finished? And then, ano bang plan nila sa card giving? So, Miss Soraya, meron ba tayong guideline na latest on card giving?
Actually, ma'am, lahat ng mga ito dahil crowd drawing nga sila and if they really need it, no, ang ating movement basically to all teachers who are here and fellow educators, unang-una, the premise is the safety of the children. So, we cannot, and then kung ano yung quarantine rules natin, no, hanggang end of May. So, as for now, when it comes to card giving and then yung graduation issues, talagang when it comes to the graduation ceremonies muna, virtual ang pwede nating way of giving it. Otherwise, if the entire school agrees together with the parents, kinonsulta nila prior to the ECQ, ay nakonsulta naman nila ang parents na ayaw na nila, then the school can opt for no virtual or no online graduation. When it comes to card giving naman, since ito din ay you have to interact with the learners, una dyan, it can be scheduled. Basta ma-comply muna yung tanong ni ma'am kanina, tapos na ba yung grade bago mai-release yung kanilang mga card. So when it comes to the process of giving the card, we have to adhere to social distancing. Una, schools can look into gaya ng ginawa ng SAP, pwede mag-distribute tig-isa doon sa learners, pwede ganon. Otherwise, it can also be in the school but on a scheduled basis. Lalo na sa mga nangangailangan ng card dahil sila ay mag-enroll doon sa higher education or mag-transfer, ganon yung possibilities na pwedeng the schools can look into. Again, we have to adhere to the standards of health, yung social distancing, the wearing of mask whenever we do an activity in the school. So, ganun po yung gagawin natin. There are possibilities that our school heads can look into when it comes to the distribution of cards. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am.
Miss Balantin, additional reminder first. Miss Balantin, additional reminder.
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
if grades are done, are they placed also in forms? Because the cards or form 138 should tally with the different forms like 137 and others, and then are they checked? Because we could not just be releasing the cards if they are not checked.
Thank you, ma'am, for that.
Ma'am Jovi?
Yes po.
Meron pang isang question dito from FB Live.
Sige,
From
go ahead,
Sir
sir.
Valeriano Acad. Based from the FLOs presented aside from the usual, does it mean that the school have the right to choose their own mode depending on what is appropriate to their learners? Or we will wait for the final decision of our higher ups?
Okay. Going to the basic of the premise that the teachers knows best. It is expected that they know their learners, they know the need of their learners. So it is not only the school or not just waiting for the higher officers to be giving. Teka, parang may may Hawaii.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am. Okay. So the teachers will be the one to select with the guidance also from the school heads, because as we said a while back, there are also series of training for teachers before the opening, supposedly before the opening August 24. So the teachers will be the one to select the modality, because it is expected also that they should know their students.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Siguro last two questions na lang. Last two questions.
Jovi, ma'am, may I?
Yes, ma'am.
Jovi. Ma'am, to ma'am, what about those teachers who applied for transfer to their school, to the school nearest their residence po? Is there a possibility that the request be granted?
Well, for the request for the teachers to transfer, especially so that the reason is to be near in their residences or say where they are staying. So of course, it is really an advantageous for the teachers to be near their homes. If there is a possibility, why not? That's why we have a discussion that before filling in new teachers in the schools, we should consider first those teachers requesting for transfer. That's why we should not be promising items, vacant items, be it new items or not natural vacancy to the new applicants. We have to consider first our teachers, our permanent teachers, because with our permanent teachers, we still have the employee-employer relationship wherein we have to look into their need also, wherein they requested for transfer to their residences before getting in the new teachers.
Thank you so much,
If
ma'am.
there is no possibility, well, they have to wait.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
if
Thank
it is possible that there is an item, new item, and the major is needed, if high school, if elementary, it's okay because they are the generals in the generalists in the elementary. I usually tell them they are the generals for the elementary teachers and they are the majors for the high school. So for as long as there is vacancy to be filled, or let's say, for example, there is a need for that school, and in one school there are excess teachers, so before filling in or transferring teachers, we consider the residences of the teachers.
Ma'am, may follow-up po.
Yes?
From Ma'am Rose Melody Flores. Sabi niya dito, I have a teacher who is requesting for transfer to Baoco Mountain Province.
Yeah, you endorse the request letter through email. So is there a chance for the teacher to be absorbed in Baoco? Because if there are those teachers transferring outside Baguio, they need to leave the items because we also need teachers. Unless there are also teachers from those places who would like to come in Baguio City.
Ma'am, may isa pa dito, yung related yata to sa previous questions from Ma'am Julia Piligan. Can we have the first week of June to finish the year-end activities, checking of forms, grades, etc., then schedule the distribution of cards after, since the parents can't come at the same time to collect the forms of their children?
Well, that's a good suggestion. As early as the first week of June, if you could finish all the forms, that's good. So that is care of with the different schools, the school heads. So you are to plan with your school head when you should be finishing those forms and when will you start checking these forms.
Another one, ma'am. May plano na ba ang division office regarding canteen services in schools comes August 24? Canteen is a crowd drawer kasi. Thank you.
So, well, if we have canteens, we base it also in the opening of restaurants. If they are opening restaurants and there are some guidelines on opening of restaurants, we might also pattern from that. But there's no guideline yet on opening of canteens come August 24. But we look into that.
Ma'am, meron dito related sa ano po. Sabi niya dito, ma'am, halimbawa na magkaroon ng suspected na COVID yung teacher or student, ano ang mangyayari sa school? Kung sakali, anong tulong ang pwedeng ibigay sa teacher or student? And then, meron ring follow-up question na matitest po ba tayo
So we will give that to the DOH. But of course, what we have been observing is if there are teachers or students who are positive in COVID, of course, classes are suspended in the school, and there are tracing, and there are those other guidelines to be followed, which we have experts that would help us also. Prayerfully, walang mangyari.
Jovi?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am Brenda, go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon. Sorry, I'm so late to sign in, but I don't know if it was already discussed or raised the matter on the senior high school offerings that are still pending for approval by the regional office, Ma'am Carol, because it's something like it's holding our opening for the enrollment of our senior high in City High for grade 11, because we are hoping for the approval of the opening of the STEM that we are wanting to offer. Because if we open the enrollment for our grade 11 at this time, that we are not so sure of the offering of the STEM, if approved, it seems like mako-compromise pa ang aming enrollment for grade 11. So I was just hoping that the approval or whatever action the region would take would be reaching us, Ma'am Carol.
So is that new offerings of senior high school?
Yes, ma'am. Our STEM.
So, well, in the guideline, it should be 1 year, 1 school year before the plan of opening. So if we plan for an opening of new offerings, or we plan for a senior high school for those junior high school without senior high school, it should be 1 year before that plan of opening. So we are very late for a year. But we tried through our CID personnel, we tried to ask for consideration from the regional office, and we submitted our letters also and some of the documents, and we're waiting for the response.
Yes, actually, ma'am, in City High, the plan to offer STEM was already proposed during the time of Sir Flora yet, but it seems there was still no action until now, and we again submitted a new proposal, which was submitted to your office.
So do you have a document for that?
As for the earlier
proposal,
we have it in our office. I'll see it, ma'am.
But did you have a receiving copy that the regional office had received?
I'm not sure about that because I was just told about it.
So please check on that.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So until such time that we are not sure of any action, then we assume that it's not going to be approved, because earlier there was a memo that there's going to be a checking of schools who are intending to offer the different strands in the division of Baguio. I don't know if that is also pending, so that other schools, I believe in our division, other secondary schools have the proposal just the same, ma'am.
Okay, so CID, meron bang taga CID who will also answer? Who knows the answer with regards the answer of the region, if we receive any? Because in my email, I haven't received yet. Wala from CID.
Actually, actually, ma'am, that's why many parents are asking about our enrollment at the City High for the grade 11. But our answer at the moment is we are waiting until maybe end of May if there would be an action from the regional office. If by the end of May we will not be receiving any proposal, then we would be looking into it, how we will be opening the grade 11 enrollment then.
So did you complete the requirements and submitted to the region already?
Not yet, ma'am, because we were naabutan tayo ng lockdown, ma'am, noon. But we are preparing.
Yeah. So be sure that you will complete it, and if you could complete it and someone could submit here in the division office, and then we will send someone to go to the region and submit.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma'am Brenda. Thank you for raising that question. Siguro, last one question na I find this very important. Last question na lang siguro ito. How about, Ma'am, the DTR? According to Ma'am Gemma Lumboy, official time still po ba for all personnel or Ma'am Nieves, are you here to answer this? About the DTR? DTR, Ma'am daw.
Wala po yata si Ma'am Nieves dito, Ma'am Joby.
Ay, si Ma'am Carol, ano daw ang gagawin sa DTR?
Sa DTR, of course, you
Official
use
time. Official time pa rin. Wala yung audio.
Okay. So if they reported in school, they have to give the true and correct record of their time in, time out, reporting to school.
Okay, so thank you, Ma'am. So with that, we would just like to thank everyone, those who raised their questions. I hope your questions were answered. And there's a suggestion that we put this into a Q&A, if frequently asked questions into a manual. We hope we could be able to do it. So with that, Ma'am, we thank you for your time, and we proceed now to the next part of.
By the way, with regards our plans, with regards our answers, we might be planning before the DepEd orders and before the DepEd memos. If it is contradicting with whatever DepEd orders that we are receiving, that's why we could not just be answering straight for the other questions, because if we will give some answers and then there will be memorandums and DepEd orders, it might be contradicting to the, because we have to understand the central office people are also having plans for all schools, and well, we are not a bureaucracy as a division office or as a school. We are as one department. We are under the department, so we really have to look into the latest guidelines and latest DepEd orders. So in case our co-teachers, students, and all other school personnel and division personnel, if you happen to see earlier some announcements or some DepEd guidelines, memos, you inform us. Kesa naman you tell to the others that we are wrong in what we are giving answers, or we are giving some division memorandum. That's why we limit giving division memorandum, because it might also be contradicting also to the plans. Although your questions are also helpful, because during regional MANCOM, we are also raising some of the questions for the region also to answer, or they need that also to be raised to central office. And it is helping also our central office, because we need the voices from the learners, parents, teachers, school heads, and all from the division region. Thank you. And of course, from our stakeholders also.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am. Thank you, Ma'am. So that ends the forum or the question and answer. May I turn over to Ma'am Asun, our facilitator for today's session. Ma'am Asun. Miss Asun. Okay, so on your screen, Sir Harris is presenting now the result of the poll. Sorry, Ma'am Asun is medyo may problema sa kanyang internet. So that's the result. For the first question, how are you doing today with your family and the community you belong? 88% says that they are safe, secure, and with enough food and supply and budget. Wow, thank God for that. Number 2 question. What issues are bothering you that may limit your ability to engage in learning activities when classes open? Most of the question says that The issue is technology use and teaching online. Next, Sir Harris. Question number 2. I3. Sir Harris.
Ma'am Jovi?
Yes po.
Yung ano ma'am, yung number 3 is what is your level of awareness on the use of alternative delivery mode?
Anong highest?
57% or 179 po ang nagsagot doon sa moderately aware.
Mm-hmm.
And doon naman sa distance learning and homeschooling, pinakamataas pa rin is yung moderately aware, 52% or 161. Sa alternative learning naman, 165 or 53% moderately aware.
Mm-hmm.
And then sa level of awareness ng blended learning or online and classroom, moderately aware 43% or 135 ang nag-vote.
Mm-hmm.
Then dun sa level of confidence, sa alternative delivery mode, medyo halos magkapantay yung moderately high and somewhat. 40% ang moderately high, 38% ang somewhat high. Then level of confidence sa distance learning, homeschooling, moderately high and somewhat high, halos magkapantay, 38% and 42%. And online learning and alternative learning, somewhat high, sumusunod ang moderately high. And then what is your level of confidence with the use of blended learning? Somewhat high, 46%. 143 ang sumagot. Sunod yung moderately high. Extremely high, may 3% or 10. Yun po ma'am, ang result ng poll natin. Ma'am Jovi.
Hello po ma'am. Hello po Ma'am Jovi. Hello po Ma'am Jovi. Maganda po sanang kunin yung result na yan para ilalagay din natin sa needs ng mga teachers. Paano natin i-address yung mga sumagot ng moderately high, parang ganun. Sir Harris?
Yes ma'am.
Paano makakuha ng result niyan?
Ito po is walang identified, naka-anonymous po siya. So parang number
hindi
of
maganda
participants.
kasing yung overall result para maganda ring i-address yan.
Sige ma'am, i-save na lang po namin ito. Bigyan
Okay,
namin kayo ng
thank
copy.
you.
Okay po. Ma'am Jovi, Ma'am Ason? Ma'am Sur?
Yes, Harry.
Synthesis na ma'am? Wala yata yung dalawang host natin po.
Okay, thank you, Harry. Thank you for always being there, no? Na kahit hindi mo role ay palaging nandyan ka pa rin. Bigyan natin si Harris ng palakpak kahit hindi na naririnig.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sige, salamat Harris. Sa ating programa ngayong hapon na ito, napakalaking tulong ito na narinig namin kung ano yung mga hinaing or kung ano yung mga the worries and the fears of our teachers, and that's very real, no? As you are looking for solutions, we are also looking for solutions and planning every day, no? It's non-stop since we started looking into how we are going to open, and the very basic questions that we are also asked is about safety and security of our learners and our teachers. The key that we heard today came from focusing on self-awareness that we need to have as teachers and as people, as people in the community, that we have to become more aware of our own selves, because it will drive us into the kind of disposition that we will have, the mental model that we will take on to address all the many issues that we face in the school and also in our own homes, and also the activities that we will prepare as teachers. The second key message is on leadership. The leadership in terms of crisis is very crucial. And that is the reason why SDS and I, and together with other DepEd officials in Baguio, are here for you to address concerns, and all the questions that you have. It may not be very clear for now, but as we go along, rest assured that we are there for you. And the assurance is that we will always keep you posted on what are we going to do in the next few days. Third is the innovation skills. And this is very much required from all of us, especially now that we are in crisis and we are all looking for solutions. Innovations coming from all the different levels. It does not necessarily have to come from us. Fourth, very crucial message is updating of the parents. And we are going to address this. That's why sooner, next week, we will have the knowledge sharing webinar for parents also. But it will not stop there. We have proposed also a parents academy, like a sort of space like this, to be a place where parents can be oriented. And also part of the plan is to have parents be oriented on how they should help their children also in their activities at home. Number 5 message is preparation of teachers. We have mentioned this early on, and we have already a lineup of activities for teachers. And the next is on the consultation of all stakeholders. And that we will do. What is very important that's being given today is that all of our pronouncements are subject to change. As we transition to GCQ, our pronouncements can also be subject to the conditions that we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ma'am Sor. Ma'am Jovi? Ma'am Jovi, Ma'am Ason? Ito yung mga questions pa natin na hindi na sagot dito sa chat box. Gagawa po ng frequently asked questions and then maipopost na lang po sa website and sa FB page natin. Ma'am Jovi? Ma'am SDS po?
Aris, close mo na kung wala.
Ayan, so actually yun na yung last part ng program natin. Yung synthesis ni Ma'am Soraya po. Thank you po sa pag-attend ng forum natin.
Thank you very much, mga teachers. Thank you po sa lahat.
Thank you rin. Live na.
God bless. Ingat kayo.
Thank you po. Thank you rin.
Thank you po.
Ma'am Marina.
Yes, my dear.
Thank you. Nakita kita, wala kang mukha. Sige po,
I'm not
bye-bye.
used to.
Thank you po.
Thank you.